Blue, 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 blue. Loo, loo, loo. I got some apples. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Just getting set up here. A little bit loud in my ear. I shall fix that. Have no fear. Now. Okay, well, I think we all know what game I'm playing. I'm clearly playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Damn, I want some KFC. Okay. Let's have a look at the freight market here in Newcastle. I don't want to stay in the UK. Aberdeen. Oh God, no, I learned my lesson. Newcastle to Cambridge. Used plastics. Unlike my American counterpart, I am actually quite in debt. Though, I've almost got enough to pay it off. My fleet of truck tarts. I like truck tarts. You're a truck tart. Well, I'm a truck tard. Aha! We drive on this side of the road. Started a bit later than normal to the main reason of me being very tired. So I just slept. In actual fact, I think I stayed up nearly 24 hours last night. I'm not quite sure why, I just kept on getting distracted. Stuff to watch. Speaking of stuff to watch, I'm well aware of the fact that I've got to sign in that DP is currently worn. I would have watched it, but alas, I cannot wait for any man, even one as sweet as Billy the Fridge. Or Medspeds for that matter. I like Medspeds. She's cool. Come on, guys. Let's get out of this hellhole known as Newcastle. Aha! I have powers you do not, like the ability to go into other lanes. Compared to the last truck I had, this is nothing. So I was chatting to Claire last night, and she's thrown out some ideas for the 24 stream. She knows a cool few places we could stop and do vlogs, or just record in and around. That'll be pretty cool. Hey Rose, welcome to the show, Zay. Been waiting ages to say that. Shouldn't you be off enjoying the bounty that is drunken peasants, scammers all? Seriously, that was bad timing on my part, but on the plus side, maybe when they're finished, people will come to me. Yeah, so Claire knows a few places for the 24 stream that'll be pretty cool to film near to and on, which is good because vlogs are only as interesting as interesting they can be. And, you know, when I'm really tired, what the fuck am I going to talk about? And why, pray tell, is that? Maybe you've told me this before, but that reminds me. I want to, I gotta put this in the wash. I always buy these, I always make these hot drinks, and then I'm usually playing so much that I don't end up drinking them and they become lukewarm. The tea is fine because it's massive. Little knob thing on the front of my truck. I imagine you'll be seeing me drinking stuff like Starbucks at some point during 24. I think around about 6 I'll really start to get cracking into the drink. 6 in the evening. Holiday stuff, the majority of stuff from December, January, Halloween, Christmas related. Ah. That's fair enough. I'm getting good speed on this. So we're bringing used plastics, which I assume are all sex toys. From Newcastle to Cambridge. Boy, we're getting good time here. Yeah, big turn off for the whole 24 stream, not that it won't stop it, will be if it's raining. I'm just gonna need to get my second wind. I got it last night. I was actually up for about 24 hours, so I know anyone who's watching this in the future already knows this, but yeah, it'll be a pretty damn good stream. We're in the forest, far as put out. That's a relief. And the crowd goes silent, save for one crying infant. It doesn't know why it's crying, it just knows that it's in pain. Your dad jokes don't mean nothing here, Rose. Now make like your name and I don't know, give me a bottle of rosé. I could go for a drink right now. Whoa, 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 whoa. We don't want a repeat of the American trip. You guys might. I wanted to rip my own face off near the end. I actually turned down 2 other job offers that had much more money because it looks like it would be very similar results. Oh, Stink, if he's in the chats or in the future, I gotta break it to him. His so-called copyright-free playlist got 4 strikes on it. Meanwhile, my playlist like this had only 1. I mean, again, it's not a big deal because I don't get any money from ad revenue. But I'd prefer if that didn't happen. So I hate to say it, I'm gonna have to decline any future playlists or requests for the time being. That's not how the saying goes. Yep. I must have nearly, I'd say about 300 claims at this point, since I started doing this channel. I might as well just start making music where I'm just burping into the mic. D-Live? No, I haven't. I don't know what that is. This world is very heavy on its balloon enthusiasts, I noticed. Ah, beautiful English countryside. That and a big power generator station. It's actually more of a transmitter. I saw a video from Russia of one of those, and there was a huge ass fire. And it's out in the open, and it was covered in snow, and there was this huge ass fire, and these two Russian guys with the cameras are just freaking out. So one opens up the door and it's just covered in sparks and flames. Just grabs a huge thing of snow and just starts flinging it in, and it calms it down. Jay tried it, thought it was good. Give it a try. But I want to get a base audience on YouTube, and then I'm gonna go, which I know I already have. Well, maybe. At some point I'm probably gonna go onto Twitch. I don't think I could dual wield this and Twitch at the same time, but maybe some games that are more popular on Twitch I play on Twitch, and more games that are popular here I would play on here. Plus talk show, because I watch Skep Talk and I'm like, you know what, there's no reason why more people don't talk on Twitch. Anyway, give us a rundown of this new website, D-Live. What's it contest of? Anyway, can you hear the music? I had that problem before. I have a feeling being in Britain, having the EU on the side of my truck is probably not a good idea. Especially how long have you been on YouTube? It might be easier to try and build an audience on these sites as hard people to contribute. Oh, well, first of all, good, you can hear the song. Second of all, I've been on YouTube making content. I've been on YouTube for years, but I've been making content now for, let's say, over a year now. Maybe even pushing 2. I always use Ryby going offline to get herself in order. I always use that as the basis because I was in Ryby's community at the time, and Christ, no one ever showed up to my streams. I mean, technically, by a lot of YouTuber standards, no one shows up to my streams now, but I beg to differ. No one would show up except for the lone ghost who would pop in and pop out. It's been a struggle, and I don't have a gimmick per se. I suppose I travel around Ireland, but I don't even do that very often. I know that's what a lot of people tune into. See, about very few people actually tune in purport. No, I'd say about slightly over 1/3 of my view count is people who really like my travel videos. I suppose I want to swim by London if I want to transport. More lax and copyright stuff. Second, people can earn points collated for donate to you. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, that second one is definitely good, plus the first one. They're much more lax about copyright. Well, what I think I might do is, I'll see how that channel goes, that website goes. And when I finally start doing Streamlabs and Discord, yeah, so I'll open up that one as well at 150. I tried to get a Periscope going once, it never really got off the ground. No one uses Periscope anymore though. Right now, and I know I'm kind of in the minority, I kind of feel more comfortable on YouTube, but that can easily change, especially if YouTube keeps on pulling shit. Like, this channel could end up not having any gaming at all on it, and places like Twitch would just have gaming. Or maybe vice versa, where this becomes gaming and... Well, that would be pretty damn cool. Though I'm pretty sure the wallet will just tie into my PayPal like my OBS, right? Does YouTube give viewers money for your streams? Does YouTube give viewers money for your streams? No. No, it does not. As far as I can tell. The only money I've ever gotten from this is that bar down the corner and a little bit of money before I put the bar up. Or rather, the bar prior. Well, look, I'll look into it, but I'm alright for at least now. I'll definitely look into it. Makeup. Do you want what? Do you want know where money YouTube makers go? Yeah, sure, I guess. Oh my god, that truck is a mutant! It has 2 heads! Oh. Technically it has 3 heads. Were you there the night the guy who had really bad broken English was desperate to give me €150? That was weird as fuck. I mean, I hope he comes back, and I hope he still wants to give me €150, but... Back to them and false flaggers, copyright flaggers, things like that. Alright, I'm getting you now. Okay, okay. Well, the fact is that I don't think I've ever gotten a video taken down for something I didn't, sleep bad, brain type, no bad, good. Amen to that, man. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had a video taken down that, I would have been able to fight over. My last reaction video that isn't. We'll kind of get a second win on the 24 stream. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna be doing a bit of reactions. I'm not sure what though, but I am worried if they're part of any particular like major group. I don't think I want to watch it. I might get to some people that I know will pass mustard, like for example DP, anyone that DP's covered. Because when I was playing Black Flag there the day before, we were talking about all that political and social shit. I have a feeling we're going to do that a lot on the 24 stream, because it can't just be all gaming. What?
Time for some sunglassception.
Chaos Gamer with the $5 dues. Thank you so much, man. You say sunglass? I have to keep that on screen longer. Thank you so much and welcome. Look at you. You're holding all the weight of that bar. Well, not all. You and Rotten Pimple. To the rest of you motherfuckers, y'all got a tip. Oh, I already used Pitmonk once before. I can't just keep using Pitmonk. Hey, if you like this, I got some new merch coming out. I'll send you my robe for $50. Thank you so much, man. Every little bit you give, every little bit anyone gives, helps on the 24 stream. And I mean, the 24 stream was already going to be fun. It was already going to be lit, I dare say, as the childers go. The more money it has, the more I can do. One thing I wanted to do a boat tour around Dublin, but they don't start until March. Fuck that shit. But Claire says that she's about 80% sure she's down, which, okay. If she is down for it, then I'm going to make sure to have that she brings her phone and she brings her camera. So we might even do a Dublin bus tour. The Red Tour, that's about 14 quid. I've done it before, it's about half an hour, 45 minutes. It's a fun way to pass the time. I wonder if they're running this time of year. But also it would save boot slogging from place to place. Dublin's not big, but when you're going to be as tired as I am, and if the weather's shit, Dublin's going to be big. Mellow as fuck. In fact, it doesn't even need to be in Dublin city centre. Like I've got a free travel pass, so what I can do is I can hop on the Dart or the Lewis or the bus, and we can go to, say, Dún Laoghaire, where you can see a beautiful little cove, or up to Howth Head, which I plan to do a whole travel video on one of these days. Oh yeah. Wow, we made some great time on this. And my girls are bringing in some cash money. With this, I might be able to pay off my loan. Away with you now. Go on, fly! Fleetwood, Fleetwood. So Chaos, Rose in the world. Anything new in yours? I English good too. Something tells me the areas around Cambridge are not famous for their sunflowers. I'm just tossing it out there. Never you forget, I've been appreciating the help and the company. You is good to me. I hope to turn that money into things that will produce some shitty, that's what I get for reading at the same time, some quality content. Ooh, I'm all about melted butter until it's glazed like you've been playing with it with your tongue. But you can also do well with cream cheese. I don't think both is necessarily a good thing, but I'd say melted butter until you glaze it like a donut. Also, that's a good question there, Chaos. I mean, you gotta cut, not to sound like an agony aunt, but you do have to cut out toxic people from your life if you don't need them. Way at work, you made a YouTube, one of them. Oh yeah. You ever put sliced cheese in bagel? Yes, I like that. I like when that you do that. That's a good one. The only bagels we get here in Ireland are the sort of store-bought, pre-made ones. And for some reason they're considered very American food, so a lot of them have names like American Pride and things like that with the Statue of Liberty next to it. Surprised that us don't have big Stars of David everywhere. No, I think I will say this about toilet humor and crass humor. It has its place. For example, to break the tension, it can be a place, but it can't be the go-to to everything because it's lazy. It's like someone who thinks just swearing is funny all the time. You know, spice that shit up a bit. For fuck's sake. Christ, oh fuck, feckin' mighty. It's not funny all the time. You know, I was just thinking that a while ago. Girls don't feel this way towards their boobs. They're very practical and down to earth with their boobs. Because, you know, they look down and they're right there at all times. Just they're like, yeah, whatever. You know. They can play it up, but they usually play it up by looking at a guy making fun of it. But guys will always just go, dick. It's the same principle. We can see our dick, and yet we're just there like. And girls get that way with dick as well. Like they'll and I suppose we all get that way with butts, but butts produce icky stuff, and that can make it funny in the sense that we don't want to think too much about the icky stuff. It's not when it's the only thing. Yeah, you gotta spice that shit up. You gotta get creative. Well, in all fairness, everyone on the planet who works with someone long enough will start getting sick and tired of hearing the same jokes and the same shit. I'll tell you what you should do, Chaos. You should preempt them with that shit, and every time they're about to say the exact same joke that you've heard a million times, just say it super fast. And you just keep saying it faster and faster and they can get it out, and eventually they'll get the hint and spice it up themselves. Hey, I laugh when someone says titmouse. I mean, I was literally trying to hold back a smile while saying it. Well, it's butt sex. Say what in my butt? Say what? I mean, all that song is about butt sex. I mean, I often wonder if you go back a few thousand years to, say, the Romans, they also looked at sex, but they had a very different attitude towards sex. I don't just mean about the whole Christian bullshit, but I mean what they considered in sex as funny was sort of like the power reversal, you know, in a way like say a mistress in S&M. They would find that fucking hilarious, the idea of a man getting beaten down by a woman. They would just laugh and laugh and laugh at that. Or a prostitute getting eaten out. I mean, you don't go to a prostitute to make the prostitute feel good. She's there to make you feel good. The idea of pegging to them would be fucking hilarious. True vulgar porn. Nowadays we look at that and, you know, most of us don't feel that way. We're just there like, okay, that's not what I'm into. Whatever, man. Even this casual conversation turned a sex joke, like going walking up on eggshells trying to not say anything vaguely sexual. Or else, bitch, just listen to what I'm trying to say. Is that towards me or towards those people? I am listening to them. I am listening to you, and if that's the case, if it's geared towards me. But I can't add anything to this diatribe. You just need to vent it. So go ahead and vent it. Also, I gave you a theory to mill over. Oh, okay. Fair enough. No, seriously. Play it at their own game, you know, just and do it. Don't do it in a sense of like ha ha ha, but do it in a sense of like what? And then you use the same punchline they always use. You know, it'll take away the fun out of it. It'll make them at least try harder with their sex jokes. You see? You see what I could have done there? I didn't do it there. Harder and faster. You have to get to the thrust of a sex joke, you know. I'm always into satire myself. That's always my favourite. Is this the frame? That's the frame mark, I know. Want a quick job. Ooh, that's a fair amount of money. Sure, it's like that skit from Friends, where Joey can make. Wait, what? Oh, Jordan here. The PH is silent. The song. Yeah, it's kind of like the way Joey in Friends can make anything sound sexual. Of course, one thing I never liked about the whole idea of men having higher sex drives than women in popular culture is that we then think that women don't have sex drives. Oh, they have fucking sex drives. And sometimes they can be a lot bigger than some guys. And then you have to combine it to the fact that after they have sex, they can just go right back to it. Ooh, that's a recipe for killing their man. I'm getting a guy and I don't really work with that. Well, a lot of them just sound like they need to get laid. Or maybe they're working each other up, so to speak. one guy is really horny and it kind of drives the other guy to also think about nothing else but sex. I think there's nothing wrong with making sex into a topic of conversation, especially if it's like a group consensus that this is like, have you always noticed, or did you ever think about? But then they'll go and just but then you have to have it as a part of something else, you know? Make fun of a shitty movie, make fun of a shitty game, laugh at something someone did a year or two ago, you know, make it a part of a conversation, not the conversation. And it does sound like you are in the minority and you're just gonna have to... Oh no, 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 no! Sorry, buddy. Your truck color's ugly though. Whoa, they were talking about ground. You've never had sex? Well, am I more annoying? Are you a virgin boy? There, Rose. Are you a sweet, innocent virgin boy? This is Cherry. We need to get you laid, son. I'll make the call. Well, fair enough. Just know this. It's the act itself, but the context is key. If you really like the person, it is fucking amazing. If you really get along well with them, whether you find them physically hot, whether you find them emotionally hot. Most women will say that they care more about the emotional state they're in, but, well, even they're like, ooh, 6-pack, I'm gonna lick some peanut butter off that. Well, you're gonna get a, well, this isn't, me putting on an act or anything like that. I play up jokes and shit, but this is just me. When you got the urges, jump on them. I think just getting laid is the harder part than, no, wait, no. I think doing it, getting laid for the first time is the hardest part. Because you've got no real idea. Their girls kind of have it easy. They just kind of will find the guy that they have no problem with doing it with and then just let him take over. But of course, if he's a virgin too, then her first time is most likely going to be absolute shit because no one has any idea what they're doing. But sex is just sex. I heard someone once say that it's just mutual masturbation. Saying that, I'm definitely down for some mutual masturbation with some females. I want pleasure and humour and unbridled chaos. Well then, you probably just don't have a high sex drive. A lot of people these days don't have have a high sex drive. You could argue I don't, but my trips to places like Pornhub and God bless it, Hentai Hub when it was up. Actually, they're gonna be. I think they're being saved by Faku. Christ, I haven't thought of Faku in years. Yeah, no, I need to get back on that particular bandwagon. And he's the chaosy of gamers. Ooh, bit of lag there. Sometimes, Chaos Gamer, when you talk, it sounds like you're a character from Undertale. Just throwing it out there. Hentai Hub. What about Hentai Foundry? I like Hentai Foundry, but pictures, I don't know. It needs to have the right art style and the right topic. I'm still one of the last few people who still play a bunch of hentai flash games. Big shout out to Zone Tan if she ever watches this. Zone Tan. Oh, that woman. Or Derpacon, who has a YouTube channel. Actually, both of those have YouTube channels because porn these days have become incredibly much more integrated. No one hides the fact that they watch porn. And also, more importantly, women don't hide. I knew it was going to start raining. They watch porn. I do like 110, but I don't see the relation. Ah, it's alright, man. It's just a passing comment. I love the way she's just so self-aware. She's been doing that shit since what, 2008. She mustn't. Hell, she probably wasn't even legally able to have sex when she started to post up her what do you call it? Those flash games, Hentarella and Hentai Key and things like that. And now she's just there with Bennett the Sage, who I fucking adore. Bennett, he's brilliant. He's probably my go-to for anime these days. I learned of Berserk because of him. But him and Zone, who I think are a couple. Don't hold me on that one, but I often get that vibe. They just post any old shit up together, and it's brilliant. As for Derpacon, she's fairly new. She's clearly got the money to make that shit work. I like the rain mechanics in this, the texture and design of it better than... I know, right? It's terrifying to think of, but it's pretty much the case. I mean, that's why Pornhub is one of the few channels that is genuinely liked, even if people are like, oh, the content's pretty shit. It's not shit, it's just, you know, it's the most middle of the road, non-offensive shit you can get. But they are very self-aware, and they're very eager to, like, take away the stigma of the porn industry. Although they do work with Brazzers, and Brazzers is just fucking ridiculous. It's just fucking ridiculous shit. The camera angles, the look of the girls, the plots, the weird use of baby oil. It's definitely not my cup of tea, but... I suppose it doesn't have to be, it makes a fortune. I also love Woodrock, it's self-parody. That's always good for a laugh. I love when Brad Jones reviews one of them. A many person play. You know, I hate it in porn, but I do like it in just like massage and shit. You know, that can be pretty good. Wait, did I miss the pass? Oh, I fucking missed the pass, man. God diddly damn it. That's what I get for talking about porn. I get distracted incredibly easy. I know, right? I am the player. I make the rules. On the plus side, I now have access to my LAN. There we are. I'm not liking the lag. I think I'm seeing a connection here with the lag. The lag in Black Flag had to do with a lot of stuff on screen. The lag in Black Flag made my shoulders sag. And I got angry like I was on the rag. Kinda worked. Kinda worked. Billy, I'm running for you. I'm running for your #1 job. I will be Low Energy the Fridge. The greatest rapper in Leitrim. Which actually isn't his title, he's the greatest rapper in Seattle. no, I don't want to repeat last one. This is how we do it in the real roads. Fuck you, sign. Wait, that is the way I'm meant to go. Is it? No, I didn't think so. God, I almost made a mistake. That's me not focusing. Let's see, is there anything new on my end of the book? On my end of the book. Actually, speaking of book, I've recently started to reread all of the Gaunt's Ghost books. I'm currently on the second one. I fucking love those stories. They're clearly rip-offs from Bernard Cornwell's Sharp series, but still, I really enjoy them. Dan Abnett is the closest thing Games Workshop has to an actual really good writer. He makes characters. God diddly damn it. Good thing I'm not taking shots every time they hit my truck. I'd be already shit-faced at this point. A part of me is looking down there at the corner, the money down the bottom of the screen. Go on, spend it. I'm a good boy. I'm a sweet boy. The only reason I would spend it beforehand is if I got like a death knell bill before the trip, which I don't see happening. Though we will be starting to get our bills pretty soon, because life fucking sucks like that, because I'm an adult and I have to pay bills. Any food for fighting and eating, what would it be? How do you produce food for fighting?
Megalovania. Now reread that. Bam, magic.
Bitch, I knew what you were doing beforehand. Dun 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 dun. Fucking love that tune. Even loved it in Homestuck, and that's a deep well of fandom I do not want to be a part of, the Homestuck community. Oh yes, because this is how it looks in England most days. Beautiful open skies the second it stops raining. Wait, am I in? Wait, I'm not in England. I'm in France. Oh, okay. Okay. I would do what they do in Discworld and make breads. Hard as rock. Battle bread. Dwarven battle bread is technically edible and is even enjoyable, but you mostly use it to beat people to death with. Also, thank you once again. Oh, we're at 40 now. Jesus fucking Christ, we're almost halfway there to the goal.
A gun. That's it.
Y'all spammers and shit. Thank you so much. Now we're almost at the goal. Damn, man. It's an embarrassment of riches. It Which it really is. Rose, I've been putting up with your shit all night. And I think I am in love with your shit. You learn something new about yourself every day. And yes, you did. I grew up on the mean streets of traditional drunken peasants, back when there were no laws and rules and regulations about what you could post up in the chat, in the Streamlabs or anything like that. Billy is a neighbor. I don't appreciate that. Scam situation. Pun good. Well, no, all. He who puns would pick a pocket. Okay? I think that's the oldest response you could do to a someone who does puns, is just say that to them. He who puns would pick a pocket. Hi and welcome. Good morning, Seattle. This is 1829. Fox affiliate. And this is Good Morning Seattle. With your hosts, Trevor McInall and Cynthia Morgan. And then they're dressed up in pajamas, even though they've been up since 5 o'clock in makeup. And the reason I'm saying that is because this music reminds you of that shit.
When's the RV trip around the United States, TJ?
TJ! Oh, 50. God. I should have just stayed. I should have stayed offline. I didn't know how evil you people got. And thank you, we are now halfway there. We're even living on a prayer. Holy shit. Although, and technically, yes. I mean, in many ways, the money that I would be asking for down the corner in the future would definitely go towards things like road trips. Although financially, I'm not quite sure how to go about that. What would be required? Oh well. Anyway, this month you get Scotland and you get fucking 24 stream, which I'm actually putting more effort into that than I am putting it into 4 days in Scotland, because 4 days in Scotland, which sounds like it could be a gay porno set in the very depressing early 90s, and have Ewan McGregor in a role that he'd prefer not to remember. But yeah, dude, next year I'm going to be getting a new computer, but the year after I'm going to go right back to my worldwide travels. I'm also getting a new kitty cat. I'm getting a kitty cat. Why am I getting so kitty cat? Kitty cat tiny small, not large at all. No, I'll be definitely going over to America a couple of times. And elsewhere too, but probably gonna mostly focus on the East Coast. As far maybe in as Chicago. I want to go to places I've never been to before. I haven't been there in years. So, ideally, I would like to meet up with people. Aww, I remember your pussy. For a man who doesn't like too much sex in the brain, you kept on talking about your pussy a lot. I remember that. Ooh, those mountains are pretty. And I don't know why, I kind of like the chic look of this trailer. Like the black and white thing going on there. A meta DFF. How about DFF goes around America in a convoy of RVs with every single person inside it, either a fan of the show or a friend of the show, like another creator. And it's like the convoy of Tism. My sex jokes are clever, their sex jokes... Oh, for God's sake, you classist prick. When I do it, it's great. Do you not understand my brilliance? I'm Chaos Gamer. Dude, there's only one amazing person here tonight, and that's me. The rest of you, you're all just beautiful. You're all beautiful birds. Let's pull in for some fuel. Ow. And I best top up. Convoy of Tism, deep fat fried. That's right, they'll go to the Big Chief, which is only the start of it. In fact, they're all gonna have a big meetup in the Big Chief car park. And all this convoy of RVs and vans and trucks are gonna pull in, and all the fans are gonna get absolutely shit-faced. Classiest. I am a classist. You really are. Down with classes. And donate to my stream. How weird would that be? That's like people who don't like technology, using technology to spread the word, like Luddites. I think there is a Luddite website. Just think that in for a few seconds. A Luddite website. What the fuck? I think GTA 3 had a joke like that in a Chatterbox. Citizens rising against phones. And their acronym was crap. They're literally called crap. And they use the phone to call in to talk about how they can't stand phones. Life does not have an off button. No, but this call-in show does. Beep. Also, as always, thank you so much to everyone who's currently in the chat. And thank you so much to everyone who's been supporting me this far. It's been a hell of a ride, and we have a long way to go before eventually I vanish, and then a few years later a warlord in Central Africa known as the White Devil pops up. Why don't you just show alright Rose, I know a way around that. Just go to find a place in the northern hemisphere, really far north, Canada, Norway, Greenland, and then Siberia as well, and then just type in beautiful images of, and then that should show it. Where did my beloved music go? Oh, look at you two helping each other out. That's what I want to see. Now, a Chaos Gamer, put your arm around him and give him a gentle hug. But then move the other one onto his chest a little bit. Slowly. Yummy. You know what I want to happen on the 24th stream? I swear to fucking Christ. I want to be at a bar chatting with someone. Oh shit. Well, hold on. I've got 3 things to deal with right now. I'll finish that dialogue in a second. just... First things first, my PS4 went all lame. Fuck you, PS4! Second of all, this is telling me I need to charge up the battery. And finally, I need to start the music up again. I'll finish my thing for that. Yeah, so I want to... there with Claire, chatting with each other. And then suddenly this completely shit-faced motherfucker. I mean, he needs to be absolutely... He's just been turned away at the bar. He said, "You've had enough, mate. You gotta get out of here." And as he goes out, he sees us talking on the phone. I'd love if he just came up and just started to go like, "How he is doing?" Because that'll happen on the stream out in public. But it won't happen in... but I don't know if it's going to happen in a pub. But if that's the case, if anyone's here who's watching this now is there for that part of the 24 stream, you remind me, if I don't remember myself, that this is what I wanted. Woo! I'm a popular boy. Ooh, ooh. Okay. I mean, that's happened. It can be kind of scary. Happened to me in Oslo. I almost got jumped. This junkie rushed out from around the corner and started screaming at me. He was an immigrant from like I think they were saying Turkey, but he probably just came through Turkey. And he was screaming at the top of his lungs it could have been Turkish, but it could have been Norwegian. But he looked at me and then just went white and ran away. The thing was, he must have been so off his head that he couldn't even see straight, that he was just off his... like, he was absolutely crazy. But, if he had just not been so fucked up, he would have gotten anything he wanted from me, including killing me, because I just went fucking still. I was not prepared for that. I was on the way back from a bar. I was so freaked out about slipping on the ice because Norway is freezing cold. Big shock, especially in January. And I just was like, what? And then he just went away. Oh, you mean like literally, like at one point half of them is in the shadow and half, like even their face is like covered, and then they step out and you almost expect to hear a dur dur dur. That is as much lighting as anything. I've had moments in my life where if you were to put a soundtrack next to it, would be very dramatic stings. I think everyone has, really. Let's have more of this tea and coffee. Cha-cha-cha. Let's do the cha-cha-cha. Then we can all pretend we're in Mad Men and have sex with our secretaries. Our sexitaries, am I right? What? Chaos Gamer immediately unsubscribes from me. Creates a hate channel that just breaks down every one of my videos and why they're terrible. No energy videos, he calls it. By the way, I think I'm gonna call the stream No Energy Videos, the 24 stream. Oh no, that's gonna be the Sleepy Boy stream, sorry. But the person would see that the sun in the wrong direction. It's normally not the sun, is it? It's normally like a street lamp. And you need to have a particular design of a street lamp, and it has to be particular weather and a particular time of night to pull off all that shit. Chachi. This is the first of 3 streams tonight. You end up getting like 5 million views, and anyone who subscribes to me after the fact is doing it because they've heard you talking about me and they just are a bunch of trolls. And I've lost one of my subs, and I end up, I don't know, having a nervous breakdown on screen, and I end up being in Mr. Metacore's Crazy People. No, I have not. Oh yes, I have. Yes, I have actually. I know exactly what you're talking about there, because I've seen people talking about it, and they've used that clip, so I know what you're talking about. I only watched a little bit of Death Note. I think once L was revealed, that's when I kind of got bored with it. What was I thinking? Oh no. We're not having a repeat of last time. I've learned much since then. Drive on, Derek Trans. It's time to drain the battery. Actually, that's what I should say every time I go and take a piss. Eventually I'm gonna have a thumbnail, BRB draining the battery. I don't know. At the time, the fans put me off heavily. In Death Note. The yaoi was just strong with that one, and that means the fangirls, which means fangirl debates. I just couldn't detach it from its fandom. I think it's the same reason why I don't give Twilight a fair shake. Even though, in all fairness, you know, the fans could just be the nicest people in the world, and most are. A lot of them are grown up now. But they're still, you know, they still acted the way they did. They still said this shit they said. And vampires have never really recovered from them. I do, because, spoiler alert, one of my best mates is about as fangirly as you can get. Ashley, who was on the tasting videos. She's about as fangirl as can be. And I'm often her venting sponge over the years, where she just comes in and wants to talk for 5 hours about this new Harry Potter reference, or this new new theory she has about Lord of the Rings. She loves herself some pretty elf boys. And you know, I just take it all in with a smile and a grin, but Jesus Christ. So draining. Then again, you get me talking about Fallout or Babylon 5. Oh god, yes. I know me some Bab 5 lore. I know me some Star Trek lore. I'm not quite a Trekkie, but I am definitely a Trekker. I suppose it all depends on your passion, you know? If you're passionate about something, particularly if it has a storyline, oh, that rabbit hole is deep. Hell, you could even argue all the YouTubers I follow that I'm really into, say Brad Jones or DFF or DP or Hugo and Jake. They're the ones that, like, all that, not drama, but all that, like the lore and all that shit around them. Fuck yeah. I can talk about that shit for hours. I have talked about that shit for hours on this. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I think it's an interesting premise, but I've heard things about it that are kind of... It's an interesting premise, but with a sort of like boring payoff. I haven't seen Bird Box yet. I know everyone's talking about Bird Box. I know the premise of it. I know the gist of it. I think that's kind of a good idea. And I'm also seeing ads everywhere for Us, which I think the trailer gives too much away about Us. A family. I think it's on like a summer vacation. And then it turns out that they have these doppelgangers that are evil. But the fact that they're all black, I can imagine a lot of people are going to say, this is a reference to all those black people who don't relate to the struggle of Black Lives Matter. They're going to make it political. They're going to make it political. You can't just be a black guy, a black family just dealing with the same shit that a white family would. It has to be made into political shit. Hell, there's a white family in it. Are there going to be some sort of like The Quiet Place bullshit? I'm referring to the movie. I don't know the first thing about the anime. In fact, I'm not... Oh yes, I do. I have seen the thumbnail for the anime. For me, Overlord is the historical event and the DLC for Mass Effect 2. Project Overlord, baby. Please make it stop! He's a mathematical savant. What is it with BioWare liking that word savant? Sandal is a savant. And your character in KOTOR was a savant. I just love that fucking word. Savant. Wow. We've made good time on this as well, although fuck these fucking toll booths. Fuck them right in their fuck. And if you know where someone's fuck is, they've revealed something very personal to you, and you should be honored. That's like in Ugly Americans when his girlfriend, who's the demon, reveals her other hole, which is this like full of tentacles and like snapping teeth and this never blinking eye. And then they're like, dude, when a demon girl shows you her other hole, it means that she really feels comfortable and safe around you. No, because you've got Asian Santa, you've got how about Russian Santa, you know? It's just Santa. Then you have to put a caveat on top of that. Maybe that Santa looks very too skinny to be Santa. Maybe that Santa's a woman. Maybe that Santa's black. You know? It's not racist. Now, if you go up to them and go, "You're Black Santa," then yeah, that's something you might want to have to consider. I mean, you're not technically wrong. Ooh, this is a nice song. I like this. Makes me want to play Flight Simulator. Except I could never get that shit to work. I actually refunded that. I needed the money at the time. Assuming there's no more fuck-ups, when we get to the location, I will do one more medium to short trip. So doing that made me racist. I wouldn't say racist, but you did at the same time think it almost instinctively, and then you felt bad for it. But did you actually go up to him and say, "You're Black Santa"? Or did you just go up and go, "Hi, Santa"? You know, as all things, context is key. Oh my god, what the hell's in that tank of KFC? It's the secret sauce. You don't want to know what's in it. Original herbs and spices. Actually might get KFC on Wednesday. Nothing much. Just, I don't know. Change of pace. Depends. If I don't have anything for breakfast here in the house. A fine way to start the day. Well, that's pretty, yeah, that bounced out. And how did he respond? Did he just go, ho ho yo? And saying, white Santa is a cracker ass bitch. Meanwhile, Mexican Santa is just asleep. While his family is out selling drugs. While Asian Santa is doing the work of 10 regular Santas. No, you shouldn't have said it if it didn't work. If he pulled out of his bag of a totally his cousin got them on sale. Aha! Saved it. His magical bag of totally his cousin got it on sale and don't ask too many questions. Then yes, you should have said it because you gambled and you succeeded. One year my ma dressed up as Santa and there was a party downstairs at the time. And I was about maybe 8, 9, so I was fast asleep. But she was so pissed, she wanted to dress up as Santa and leave toys at the base of my bed. So when I wake up, she would be like, "Oh, did you see Santa last night?" and things like that. Because my dad wasn't living with us at the time. It was a very nice thought, but she was absolutely shit-faced. So when she came into my room, she started knocking stuff over. And I pretended to be asleep. But I could tell it was her. Dude, then you read the room correctly and you rolled with it. It just shows that you understand. It just understands that you understand people. Actually, now just picturing her in my head right now. She's had the smaller of the two globes out there. She knocked it over. I remember that. Good times. Shit-faced single mom dressed as Santa, leaving toys at the foot of your bed. Oh, fuck. The next game I'll play after this, I'm debating to try and finish off Quake. I'm almost finished New California, by the way, but it seems the very last thing you have to do is very convoluted. Which is good in the sense that if you like the old school Fallout, that's exactly what you want. But it's going to be a more active game than this. I'm not sure what, but it's going to be a more active game than this. Not yet, though. Not yet. And we still have one more trip after this, anyway. I almost have enough for my loan to repay it. Press X to doubt, but go on. Maybe I should play. What? What? Oh, that didn't go in right. Mexican Santa sleeping with a homeboy Asian Santa. That's all I got. Let's have a read. Thank you so much, Chaos Gamer. You are the fucking workhorse of this stream. You're putting me to shame, let alone anyone else you might be watching. Homeboy working the load of 10 Santas. Pakistani hat, fucking that goat in the ass. Honestly, do not know. Look. Do you remember Zootopia? How affirmative action got Officer Hots in? It's the same thing. They need a quota to reach, and one of the factors is that if you're a particular race, a particular ethnicity, a particular religion, a particular sexual orientation. I mean, for example, gay Santa, he looks the exact same as regular Santa. You think that he has like a big, like, rainbow beard. No. But every once in a while he'll give a wink to the dad while he's talking to the kid. And sometimes the kid's dad will give him a wink back. And, you know, afterwards they'll have a meet-up at the Santa bar.
Ho ho, yo. White Santa is a cracker.
There we go.
Mexican Santa is sleeping, while my homeboy Asian Santa is
God,
working a load of 10 Santas. Pakistani Santa.
At this rate, you're just gonna fill up.
Goat in the ash. Honestly, don't know how he passed Santa exam.
Jesus Christ! Look at all this. I'm scared. Can we actually be reaching our goal before the end of the thing? Not the end of this stream, I doubt it very much, but I wouldn't even know what to do then. I don't know what to do right now, other than say thank you so much. And yes, as I said, affirmative action is the cause, man. Those SJWs. Shit. Daddy you. Fuck you, sign. You're not even in English. I think one game I'm trying to get off the ground is the older GTAs, like GTA 3 and things like that. Earlier, even GTA 2 and GTA 1. Now, isn't GTA 1 for free somewhere right now? I don't know how the hell I'd play that on this, but I'd definitely give it a fucking go. Hell, I'd even accept Driver or True Crime Streets of LA. Or New York, even. No, can't stand when they're up there in the corner like that. Oh my god, this has been a good weekend for me. Been getting good traction in terms of view counts. My malaise from the new year is over. I've been getting a lot of great plans going for the 24 stream, to the point where I think the 24 stream is now set at this point. I just have to start thinking about Scotland, really. I know there's a few comedy gigs I want to go to, and there's the Tennant Brewery. That'll be pretty cool. I escaped that North Korean prison camp. Prototype. Now I've played Prototype, and if I remember right, I wasn't a fan. Oh, no, that was Infamous. Prototype, huh? Maybe. Ooh, I know one game I want to start playing. I have it. I want to start playing the Deus Ex games. I haven't played the first Deus Ex in a long time. And I don't think I ever finished it. I think I only got about maybe a quarter of the way in. I also like the Hitman games. The older ones. I've never really played much of the new ones. I used to always just slaughter everyone. It was always just so much fun. It was fun to make them go die. I'm not crazy, you are. Here goes all my money. Bye, money. Bye. One games I haven't played in ages is the Half-Life games. Maybe I'll look into that, although the jumping mechanics. Ugh. That's me as a jazz man holding a saxophone. It looks like I'm having a seizure. Low energy saxophone. One more hot chocolate. Ooh, yes and please. Alright. Our headquarters is now fully upgraded. It is no longer just our headquarters, it's also our hindquarters as well. Look at those fake internals. It actually looks like a bit like a gym from the outside. Not a very good gym either. Not like a dingy, shitty place where people sell steroids, but kind of a down on the luck one ready to be bought off by a franchise gym. What the fuck am I talking about gyms for? Ooh, okay, now we can pick up a new driver. Let's see. Generic dude. Ed Glazer. She strangled a cat at the age of 12. He then ate said cat. Oh, you poor man. Oh my god. A DP supporter. Angry lesbian. Hot. I think she's hot. Emily Z. Yes, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh wow, wow, okay. Let's have a gander see. So I'm gonna pick between the females of the group. Because I want my army of bitches. So Natalie P. And Millie, Emily, Lucy L. She's cute too. She looks like someone who's, when she has too much to drink, she hits on me at the bar. I'm gonna pick Emily because she's actually not a bad truck driver either. Okay, so I'll pick Emily and I'll pick where's the other one? Yeah, absolutely. Hell, you'd be surprised the things that could kill you. I mean, you can cut metal with water. You can cut metal with friction. You can cut wood with paper. No. Yeah. Like, I'm sure sound could break up a mountain, for example. Well, sound can definitely cause an avalanche or a rock slide, so... Wait, what am I doing? Alright, so... Whoa! No, sorry dude, that's not gonna happen. Or angry lesbian. I think angry lesbian won't be so angry after or a sun, like a star, for example, because there's no sound in space. So anything in space, really, sound wouldn't be able to do anything with. But once you add an atmosphere, then you can add sound. Millie. I'll pick angry lesbian, and then she'll no longer be angry because she's working with a bunch of other women. That's how you make a lesbian happy. You just put her with other women. That's how that shit works. How am I friends with so many lesbians? Alright. I believe, don't hold me to this, I'm either the dragon or the rat. I am January the 18th, 1988. I also forget what my stone is. It's something like... It's a blue stone, I know that much. I used to seriously consider buying the I Ching, like the whole book. It's about 90. I used to be able to get it. 1988. Making me 31 on the 18th. Let's get this cracking. I have my truck, or was that the... No, I have to use my own truck. This one. Job market. Alright, I don't want to drive for too long. My username only exists because I just constantly heard people saying these videos are really sort of low energy. And I don't know, it just kind of stuck with me after a while. Alright, we're bringing beef from Amsterdam to Roscoff. But we also gotta get there first. Actually, not too far. And I think Chaos Gamer is a good name. It's a very good name. I mean, name a name that isn't good. I mean, maybe some of those gamer tags from a few years ago, like an old Xbox 360 gamer tag. Like, Deathlord 666. Ah, okay. Rabbit, fair enough. Let's get out of this hellhole known as Great Britain. It's not that great. Actually, technically, it is quite impressive. I do like the UK. It's one of the few places on the planet I actually feel comfortable just being plopped down anywhere. I do alright. Except maybe way into like the bowels that is northern Scotland. Past Inverness, you know. Or the Orkney Islands. I'd love to go there, but I don't think I'd want to stay there. I don't know. I like goose. I like goose eggs. I like goose, the meat, when it's cooked right. Never seems to be cooked right over here. It's always cold. Yeah, I mean, it's all arbitrary anyway. I mean, I used to be able to read tarot cards back in the day. It's all just numbers, you know? It's all just... That's some pretty skyline right now. My ma used to be big into that. She used to have the angel cards back in the day. She had a big bowl of them and she used to pick them out. Dude, geese are better at security than dogs. And people have known that for centuries. And as for rabbits, well, that means I just get to have a lot of sex, doesn't it? No, because none of this is fucking real. Yep, Claire finds both those animals incredibly cool. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been like, yeah, the dragon. Then I'd just be making opium jokes because Chinese. I'm serious, they've known that since ancient Roman times. Caesar used to have guard dogs, of course, but he also used to have geese, and geese are incredibly territorial. So you start hearing, then yeah, you know someone's coming to kill your shit. And as for hell, Napoleon did the exact same thing as a result. And they're mean motherfuckers. They think everyone's after their eggs or after their food. And you don't like dragons? Oh, this is not the time for you to be alive then. Everyone's like, dragons are cool! I am wondering why the dragon is used as an example of an icon for the gay community though. I always wondered what would happen if you if you bought into a golden goose, you get a 20% return each and every year at 10% interest. Wait, no. How do you get a 20% return at 10? Whatever. But I think if you bit into the golden goose, it would either just taste like the best goose meat ever, the worst goose meat ever, or you'd break your teeth because it's made out of solid gold. It's one of those things that like you hear people saying and they're trying to sound mysterious. What's the sound of one hand clapping? That's the sound of one hand clapping. What's the sound of a tree falling in the woods with no one around to hear it? It would make the exact same noise. We don't live in a solipsistic universe. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Technically the egg. And at some point, something that could be called the modern day chicken was hatched from that egg, and its parents were like, oh look, a mutant. Oh, I like some of those crazier ones. I was more into a griffin myself over dragons at times, but then, you know, dragons, I like what Dark Souls do with dragons. I thought Skyrim was pretty good with dragons, and I like how dragons are portrayed in Game of Thrones. It's very dragon heavy. We don't see that many examples of a Chinese dragon anymore though. It's all just Western dragons with big massive wings. Alright everyone, the question has been asked since the dawn of time. Oh well, first of all, hello. Welcome to the show. Are dragons the only animals that are LG for their symbol? No, I don't think so. But then you get into the specifics, you know, like a bear would obviously be a bear, a bull would be a bull, a weasel, which I've never liked. Oh, that sounds so horrible when you think about it. It's like a shrew. Can you imagine if someone had a sexual preference for guys that could be compared to shrews? Ugh. Now I lost my train of thought. All single cells divide, yeah. I mean, once you get into egg-laying creatures, then obviously they predate birds, so the egg always came before the chicken. Why did the chicken cross the road? Probably because it ran out of food on the other side of the road and it wants to see if there's anything to eat over there. Although that's more of a terrible joke. There are whole schools dedicated to this shit. Aha! Barriers are useful. Southampton. Apparently an absolute shithole, the real Southampton. So my uncle says. To that I said, well, I've never been, so I wouldn't know. I'll tell you one thing I'd love to do on this channel is go back to Cornwall in the middle of summer. Oh my fucking Christ, it is so good, it is so pretty. It is so pretty, the food is so good. If any animal would be considered gay, it'd be a snake, it always told me to sound like gay. Sissy. I think very effeminate. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gay, it just means that they're showing more feminine sides. I mean, that female driver I got recently, Millie, the one I call Angry Lesbian, there's nothing to say that she's a lesbian. It's just that's the first thing that came to my mind. Beautiful white cliffs of Dover. Went there once as a kid, but I don't remember much about it. I do remember we hit a barrier at some point, just like this. Wow, song from a Final Fantasy game by the sound of it. God, so many games I want to play on this. I still want to replay all of Final Fantasy 15. I fucking love that game. Oh, that's right, the question I want to ask. The question that people have been wanting to know for centuries. What's your favorite dinosaur? And I can relate to that. I remember the teachers far more than I remember what the people what they were saying. In college, I learned also very little, but I remember I focused more on just the people who were there. I mean, the college I went to was a community college, and it was very laid back, but I did learn one or two things. But I didn't. Most of the stuff I learned had nothing to do with the course I was doing at the time, which was photography. Instead, I was doing. I learned more about stuff related to movies. Damn it, Chaos! Is there anything you do care about? You don't like sex jokes. You don't like dragons. You don't like dinosaurs. Seems you like me. Which I'm very flattered. Aha! Folkestone to Calais. It will not take 35 minutes. I've been in the tunnel, it doesn't take 35 minutes. Petio store? You know when the teacher has done their job right is when they've taught you things that you use every day and you don't even think about it. And before you say I can't think of anything, that's kind of the point. That's like saying I don't know any spies around here. No, they're fucking spies. Oh, the plesiosaur! Yes! Its big dumb fins and the fact that it could fucking kill a whale. Though a whale is technically bigger. You know, if a whale had, yeah, primary school over here. Primary, and then you have secondary school, and secondary school is divided into, God. Junior cert and leaving cert, which the junior cert part of it would be considered your guys' middle school in America. No. I mean, they always try to justify the higher maths in secondary school, things like algebra and calculus, but the fact is, you know, you never remember that shit. Science is more, science class is always fun, but you never learn anything other than maybe the difference between hard water and soft water, or how gases can be turned into liquids. I remember them. I remember the experiments more than anything. Home ec was useful. Well, I never did that, but a lot of people probably learned a lot of really good skills there. Carpentry was also good, I imagine. Or you guys call it shop. Aha! Aha! Now that we have different, we actually had classes where we sat down and we discussed politics. And it didn't have a political slant on it, rather it was a topic. The first, it was called like CSE class. It was like community and social education. We really did just all sit down and we all talked about that shit. We talked about it for hours, but it wasn't like a philosophical debate class or anything like that. It was just they talked about shit like that. And also, my generation was the last generation to have religion as a mandatory. It wasn't automatically geared towards Christianity, but it was pretty heavily geared towards Christianity. Now I imagine if I ever found some of my old religious textbooks, it would be, they'd be actually a bit of collector's items. I'm glad they got rid of it. I always remember our last religious teacher, she was kind of hot, but she was the whitest woman I've ever seen. She wasn't an albino, she actually looked ill. She was just so pale. And she didn't really, I think she knew the writing was on the wall for her for that class, so she was just there like, do whatever. You know, I'm vaguely aware of Common Core because I know any American on the planet who has any even remote interest in the education system, whether they're teachers, sub-teachers, former educators, or maybe parents. They're all going to have a fucking say on core, but I have no fucking idea what it is. I can't even remember the system we used. I just know that no one likes it. Our biggest problem was the hours for teachers. Teachers in Ireland were complaining constantly about hours. Also, our school was kind of like falling apart, our secondary school and our primary school. I remember after one storm, the roof just caved in the gym. Of course, in Ireland we have something you guys don't. The GAA or the GA, where you play Irish sports, Gaelic, hurley, things like that. But it's also meant to be a place that's like meant to be pretty heavily nationalistic. And the only thing I can consider of in comparison is like the NRA mixed in with maybe the Veterans Association. It's very old school Irish. It's where the IRA would have met up and shit like that. Hold on, I actually want to read this. Common Core, too simply, treat all kids same, be taught, exact same, blah blah blah. Age. Oh shit. How do you reload it? Oh, there. If brains all develop the same way, the biggest problem, chord. Yes. Yes. I had a feeling it was something along those lines. But here's the thing. Teachers can't even remotely put every individual student as the priority. Haha, fuck you, random French police officer. Frenchie! But, like, they're struggling for time to get as many people out as possible. So I can understand why they want to make it the most uniformly as possible, because that's the most efficient as possible. But in the process, a lot of kids are going to be left behind. Now, I know this is one thing that gets a lot of people talking. What does everyone think about the idea of the state not having control over well, the fact we can't even remember half the shit we learned in school is proof of that. But what do you guys think about the state not having control over the curriculum? Rather, it's just one mandatory federal thing, where every single state learns the exact same thing. I'm thinking in particular towards creationism versus evolution being given the same equal status.
No, teachers can't teach on the individual, but Common Core is extremely rigid and unbending and allows the teacher no freedom to make classes fun or free.
Yeah, that is true. Thank you, by the way. As always. Look at that, we're well over. We got another 40 to go, Jesus Christ. All schools care about getting their scores up. That's right, I'm well aware of that. I think that over here we consider American schools to be very like stereotypical heavy. So for example, if it's a city school, it's all going to be the sort of ghetto, rough element school where like the classes are in bits and half the kids are in gangs. Or if it's out in the countryside, it's going to be all I like that truck. It's going to be all like religious oriented. Like say you go to a school in Texas and they won't even mention Charles Darwin. So we aren't really familiar with how the education system of America works, other than what we see in media, and what we see in media is often hyped up, where everyone is just having a shit time. I don't know, like, the more and more I look at it, the more UK and Ireland schools aren't too bad. That's how I always see them. School is not a fun place for the most part, but the kids usually find fun on their own. They make friends and shit. But as for American schools, like, I don't know, I know I wouldn't have wanted maybe a private school. I know I wouldn't have wanted anything like homeschooling. I had a tutor come over for a while getting ready for my junior cert, and that was pretty interesting. He was a nice guy. He helped me get an A- in which was like 90%, I think, in higher history. My topic was the early rise of the Nazi Party. But because of my Aspergerness, I had to narrate my entire answer. And I got most of the things right, which was pretty damn cool. I'm not in college, but I keep hearing people still have to learn shit that have nothing to do with their major. Because you never know when a doctor might need to know something about Aztec history. The reason I never followed a historian path is because you need maths. You need a pretty strong understanding of math in order to be a historian. It's gonna start raining any minute. There we are. Haha, fucking called it, man. I mean, how are you ever gonna do brain surgery or prescribe medication if you don't know the fifth High King of Tenochtitlan? You know. Now, if I had a time machine to go back to when I was a kid, I'd have still done a lot of the same stuff. Yeah, pretty much. But I would have definitely changed one or two things up. I haven't even reached the picking up point. Then I have to drive all the way to Brittany from Belgium, I think it is. I actually would love if someone explained how that actually saved someone's life. Enowopple, of course. Just like the Enowopple gland found next to the epidermis. You mean the skin? Sorry, I've been watching a lot of House and doing a lot of coke. I find people will learn the arse off something on a topic they give a shit about. Whether it be sports, gaming, books, current political climates. I think you just need to give people the basics down. Reading, basic math, a quick understanding of the world around them, like why for example, gravity is what it is, things like that. And then afterwards, I think the kids should follow their passion. I knew early on I had a passion for history. I'd have just kept on following that rabbit hole. And I still do. I listen to, there goes the PS4 again. I listen to, God, I've got rings under my eyes, don't I? And if you get under 100, they'll just lose a leg. Sounds like some weird Saw-like thing. But yeah, if I still like listen to like lectures from colleges and shit like that, whole courses on tons of historical topics and a few religious ones too. There's a good one from Notre Dame about the looking at the Old Testament in like with a fine-tooth comb, and it's very detached, kind of like if Hugo and Jake did it without any jokes. But it still can be funny once you, because it's the Old Testament, for fuck's sake. It can still be really funny. Like, did you know that there's like actual like erotic poetry about jacking off a girl in the Bible, and it's kept into the Bible, and their justification of it is ridiculous. Because then they'll turn around and say women are evil and sex is bad. It's in the fucking Bible. It says it's okay. Whee! I think if I won the lottery, what I would do is one thing I would definitely do is make a YouTube channel dedicated to just traveling around the world as a sort of like a Michael Palin-esque thing. I'd love that. And I've always wanted to travel, so if I ever had the chance, I would have done something along those lines. I would too. In fact, I was thinking last night, if I had just discovered I had won the lottery, if DP was on right now, they would have gotten a thing for $5 grand. I think $5 is the most anyone can give on Streamlabs. I'd have donated like $5 grand, and then I would have gone off to another YouTuber and donated $5 grand, and off to another YouTuber, and just I'd have done that for hours. And today, as in like the next day, I would have gotten myself fitted for a suit. I would have booked off the next flight going anywhere. I wouldn't have fucking cared where. Actually no, first of all, I would have gone into Dublin and just partied and shopped. I'd have given my ma a huge bit of money. I'd have paid off anything I might owe, which, yeah, that would have been nothing. I would help bankroll that. I mean, how much money do you need to get it off the ground? You know. I'd be selfish with it, but I wouldn't be so selfish that I wouldn't. That's me. I wouldn't squander the shit. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Freight market. Yep, pretty much. I mean, don't create a rival to YouTube. Create your own thing. And if it happens to have similar things to YouTube, then fuck it. Yeah, pretty much. Twitch isn't, though. Is it? Twitch is able to keep itself afloat. Although doesn't someone own Twitch now? Isn't it Amazon? Yeah, that's the one I want. Take job. We are off to Brittany. I have a feeling these the other two games I'm going to be playing tonight are going to be a bit anticlimactic. But Twitch still makes a profit, doesn't it? Fuck. You can't, yeah, but we're talking about what you can get on the lottery. Assuming Google would sell YouTube, which it probably wouldn't because it's too good as an advertising base, you wouldn't have enough money. You'd need billions, not millions. You'd basically need to take over Google and then say now it's up for sale. But if you didn't, let's say you won 100 million, right? If you invested that money into Google, you could have a bigger say in what Google does because you just invested 100 million into it, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, what would you like us to do? Hey, how about you stop banning people who don't deserve it, and maybe look at your ads more, you know, things like that." I don't know, I'd create my own website, but I wouldn't do it as a sort of, I wouldn't do it as a sort of, creation to rival YouTube. And I wouldn't have the means to impact YouTube besides making a channel, which I've already done, which is technically for free. Few headaches though. Perfect music for that idea right now. I'd also, if I was donating to tons of people, whenever possible, I'd actually travel over to see them, and then get them wasted and have them stuff their faces on my dime. I'd buy Pimp his mom her house rather. Because he's going on about it at some point. I don't know if he'll ever do it. Not because he's not trying, it's just because I don't think he'll ever get the money together to pull it off. So I'd buy her that house. Or at least put the deposit down on it for them. I'd also bankroll Billy to make a new music video. I'd help Evan out, I'd help Brad Jones create a new movie. That'd be brilliant. There'd be a lot of things I'd do. I'd kind of pay my way into their lives. I wouldn't move out of here though. I'd use this place as a sort of like storage thing for all the things I buy, and then just travel. I'd never really be here. Once or twice a month I'd be here. To cool my heels before my next exciting adventure. My past won't be full of random shit. Well, Chaos Gamer, what he clearly means is Dailymotion, the greatest website of all time. I love people who are still going on and on about how Dailymotion will become the new YouTube. No, it won't. It's just lingering there. In fact, how is it still operational? I don't know that. Anytime I go to Dailymotion, it's always... It's actually content that would be like this, honestly. Yeah, DTube, DLive, that's... I'm serious when I say this, though. I think Pornhub, no joke, should do a non-porn or a porn-ish friendly, but not porn-focused website. I think if they did that, oh yeah, there are still people going on and on and on about how Dailymotion, just the right investment and the right characters online, like their own version of PewDiePie. But here's the thing, if they had their own version of Poods, YouTube will just buy them off. Kind of, yeah. I mean, a lot of Pornhub girls have YouTube channels that they don't do anything other than make passing references towards. Like Redhead, for example. She's also got a Twitch channel. A lot of Twitch girls. Didn't Nova Patra at one point be a wasn't she either became a porn star or she was a or she started off as a gamer, or started off as a porn star and then became a gamer, or vice versa. Hey, hey, whoa. Yeah, the one that used to be the porn star, Redhead Redemption. Not the meme lady, not the fucking meme lady. One with glasses, triggered. Not her. She used to be in Wall Street, and then she went into porn, and then afterwards she went and she's doing like streaming stuff. Well, thank you, Chaos. I did not know that. Rose's been playing up DTube, but the thing is, I don't know the first thing about DTube. He's the first person who's really talked to me about it. I'll have to make up my own mind. I know in the future I will go back onto Twitch, and I know in the future I will also get onto Rabbits more often. At some point I also need to set up a Twitter account, and I don't want to set up a Twitter account. I haven't been able to get Google Chrome to work on this in months. Actually about a year now. This computer is on the way out. Next year I'm getting a whole new rig. Probably gonna have one made for me. And before you say it, no, I'm not gonna build a custom PC. I don't know how to fucking do that shit. Oh, DLive. That was close. I almost fucked up my truck. Woo. Remember to like and share the stream. If you're liking the stream, wish to share it. Actually, even if you don't like it or want to share it, please share it. This is the last haul of the evening, I believe. Might do something else afterwards, like maybe get a spruce up to the truck, but I've been streaming this for a while now. Starting to move on to something else, I do believe. Keep it fresh. Unlike me, who needs a wash. I'm gonna go hop in the tub and listen to more of those Khan's Ghost books. Whatever game I play afterwards, I'll try to make one that I know won't have any stuttering problems. It's not too bad, but so close. Whoa. Well, that's what I get for not paying attention. Wasn't there reports that Facebook was going to do a streaming service? My nose is still kind of a little bit blocked. Weeks from now. Ow. Shit out of you. More music. Is it finished or? It has streaming, but I mean like a streaming service. I'll tell you, when I get a new computer, one of the major things I want to have is 2 screens. or just have the TV screen as my secondary screen. Good old box shadows. All this tech talk is too rich for my blood. Too rich from review tech. My blood. Icky. So yeah, I think Wasted Wednesdays, what I'll do is about 10-ish. I'll do what I did last week and have a little chat with you prior. Get my veins open, drink me some beer, talk some shit. He still talks heavily about tech, but you know, he wants to branch out. I don't blame him. Plus he knows a lot of these people fairly personally, so you know, he has opinions. I mean, I'm not a social commentator, but I know some people and I talk about some people. And hell, even people I don't really know, like say Joe. I've got some strong opinions on Joe, but I don't actually know him. I have a feeling the current system that we're under in terms of the internet won't last forever. And what replaces it will be good. It'll be better than what we have now. It'll confront a lot of the problems that we have, but it'll open up new ones that we don't quite have ideas of yet. And that'll be the issues for future people to deal with. Maybe even future generations, plural. Because until the internet is outdated, it's just going to keep on getting used. Yeah, DP Joe. He's actually aware of my disdain for him. He often, anytime I insult him, he's always there like, oh, it's you. Billy is very aware of it, but he don't care because he's a sweet boy and he likes everyone. Which I noticed him and Boogie do that. They kind of defend everyone. This music makes me want to play Tropico, but the thing is that you can't play Tropico's soundtrack because you're going to get the video claimed. Maybe even striked, actually. I think that might be something that they would actually strike you over. Fucking love Tropico 4. Tropico 5's okay. Has a good storyline. El Presidente! I've actually got a postcard from Tropico when I got the last time I got the physical copy. Came with a visit beautiful Tropico. I wouldn't put my bets on the internet being replaced, more evolving. I don't think it's internet will be replaced unless quantum computing requires such a change. Yeah, pretty much. But it will constantly. I think the means of us taking it in will become more streamlined and more, I would almost say, minority reportish. But you just have to ask yourself a simple question: is VR technology easier to use than what we're doing now? No, but the information you take in is more more efficient. If I had a VR headset of like you can now watch shit on VR like you're watching YouTube. You can also then start scrolling around 360. It might be a gimmick right now, but if people keep following through with it, it eventually might become something more. When that happens, then people will, then someone like the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates of this generation, or hell, even the fucking Elon Musks, will come around and do something to change it. Oh, you do know me well. 500. Because I could find a rapport with him for a while, but it would be like stepping into a scalding hot bath. You just kind of have to endure it until your body adjusts. I think it's crazy when you see pictures of cyberspace, the massive IPs that look like constellations. I like the idea of transhumanism. We're in transhumanism right now. These headphones on my head are transhumanism. This computer I'm looking into is transhumanism. The only problem with, say, augmenting your arm, though, is that 20 years or 10 years or 5 years down the line, that arm's going to be out of date. And eventually the plug that you use to replace it, like the jack, is going to be no longer viable. It's not like 40K where technology has not changed in 10,000 years, you know? Also, I can't wait for the next big thing. The next big thing, because it's always something you didn't really think about you needed until it shows up. I mean, when YouTube, the day before YouTube started up, did anyone think, oh, what I need right now is a place to upload my videos and then we can comment on each other's? No, no one really thought of that. Now look at us. Yeah, pretty much. And that's nothing new. Human beings have been progressively more and more joining with their tech. One thing I think they could have done more is the Google Glasses. I think that was an idea that could have worked, but it just didn't really implement. No. I play up my disdain for Joe, but I don't wish him any real harm. I just wouldn't want to be. Hell, he probably wouldn't want to be in a room with me for 24 hours. I'd be boring as fuck to him. He'd get bored with me after a while. He'd get indifferent, and maybe we would get violent if we pushed each other the wrong way. Hell, I'd get stressed out and want to drink, and I couldn't get drunk. So, and Joe, well, I know Joe pops pills. So, I don't know if he's still doing it, but that's how I first met him. Piece of shit. Not because he takes pills, but it's his attitude. But yeah, there are people, I mean, hell, 24 hours? You're hard pressed to find someone who you'd want to talk to for 24 hours without them pissing you off. I mean, I might end up being with Claire for nearly 24 hours. We're gonna be, especially as we get groggier. I don't know if she's gonna try to stay awake. I don't think she's going to. And she doesn't need to, for fuck's sake. Especially when she's here. If she's here, we got a spare room in the back. Just crash in there for a few hours. In fact, it'd be best if she stays, has a few hours sleep. She needs to stay lucid. Keep me afloat. One thing I think we should look out for in Ireland is in Dublin on a 24 stream is open Wi-Fi. A lot of open Wi-Fi places. It's not that we can't afford to buy something, sit down, but I mean while we're walking, Dublin free Wi-Fi and things like that. I imagine the signal will absolutely be shite, but it's worth a shot. Shite or no shite, I'm still going to try to upload as much as possible. Obviously, I mean, it is going to be a 24-hour stream. The downtime has to be counted in, so every time I'm not on screen, I have to make up for that after midnight. Or before midnight if I'm smart enough. 24-hour stream. And then Sleepy Boy stream, which is going to be so much easier. That's next month. We've made good time on this trip. We've actually made good time on all these trips today compared to my American trip where I was slipping and crashing and getting stuck and having to get towed. Bring in some sweet, sweet moolah. Moolah. Look at those God rays, baby.
And then my wiener, which was swollen from a bee sting, just fell right into her butthole.
You did see a doctor after that, right? Because, well, if you didn't do that, then how are you? The more you say it, the more I think about what you just said, that makes less sense than. I'm not that picture of is it Julia Roberts? She's just looking at the camera and all the equations flying by her. God, I absolutely love random quotes that have no. I love random quotes that have no. Oh, and thank you again. By the way. I love random quotes that don't have any context. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I just love walking down a street, passing by someone and hearing, "This big!" And I kept on walking and I was like, what? I what's it from Rick and Morty? Oh my god, I love bukkake, but I don't know if I'd ever try it. You ever get peed on? Yum! I think I have, but I can't remember much about it. I saw his driving video. Did Egghead proud in that one. Wow, fucking great! Oh jeez, guys. Oh, Egghead. Colton, baby, sweetie pie. I love you. I don't like his new shaved look though, that's a bit weird. No, I haven't seen TJ's. I probably have seen, but I can't remember it. Rochelle minutes. We're running out of fuel, but I still have about 3 hours left, and I've got the eco saver, so I should be able to pull them off. Oh wait, no, it is technically my truck, so I suppose I should pull in the next time I drive somewhere. I know he promotes abortion to lower the human count across the world, and I know a lot of people don't like that because what they want is they want more white people who vote the same way they do and think the same way they do. So they're angry that like a lot of there's too many people, but they're not the right skin color. But I don't think TJ gives a flying fuck about that. I think he just cares about the fact that there's too many mouths to feed. Although technically, if we were to reorganize that shit, there wouldn't be too many mouths to feed. There is enough land. If you took away all the meat-eating animals, all the animals we use for meat, it would be enough food to supply 2 more times our population. We just need to reorganize that shit, but we're not going to. Well, hell, Evan's plan is that our bodies will just be kind of permanently frozen in, like, stasis. And time will be slowed down to such a minuscule degree that we would just spend, we'd spend eons in a sort of Inception Matrix-like universe, being the gods of our world. Which, it's doable. Sleep tests have shown that you can alter people's perception of time, and as we well know, I mean, we've spent days in our dreams. I know I have. There's a test going on right now. I think it looks really cool. It's you can actually start seeing blurred images of people's dreams. And I think that's really interesting. Wait, what's not true? That we can slow down people's dreams, or what is it about Evan?
Everybody's climbing.
Oh.
Trying to get to the show.
Well, I don't think that is impossible because I don't think that's possible on the simple grounds. On the simple grounds that nothing is eternal. Eventually, the heat death of the universe would mean that we would. Right, no, but I mean, immortal things have to die too because the heat death of the universe. There is a finite amount of time in this universe, so eventually all things would just wrap up as energy would run out. You think my videos are low? Imagine this in a few quintillion years, you know? We would have virtual immortality, but at some point, I think after a while, I'm terrified of death because I can't stand oblivion. But I've talked about this a million times. The secession of self is kind of scary on some sort of existential level, but of course you won't be there to experience it. But what I find interesting about immortality is after a while you would envy the dead, because life would become tedious. Also, your mind would only be able to hold about 300 years worth of information.
Everybody's driving.
Yes, but let's be honest here, Evan can't pay his bills, so at some point the true biological father of Jesus Christ doesn't know everything, you know. I would prefer a couple of centuries and then ask me about immortality then. Do I want to keep on going or do I want to stop? Ah, now here's one of the paradoxes of it. If it's infinitely expanding, if the universe is the infinitely expanding, what's it expanding into? Or is it contracting, where it will reach a point and then contract into a big bang? No, I'm not. The tediousness of it would happen, and there's no way of proving or disproving that, so I'm not wrong. There's just no way of proving that. As for the other thing, the 300 years, that's what we believe. Again, there's no way of proving that, is there? Yeah, but technology would have to be, would be limited as well. I mean, if we build something to hold a memory, hold a universe in it, there would come a point where it would run out of memory itself to build that world for us. Eventually, we would just completely run out of things. Because there's a finite amount of everything. There is no such thing as the infinite. Even as far as we can tell, the universe at some point cuts out. So, while it might be semantics because of the sheer difference of time, tell that to the creature that has existed for that long, right up to the point where it's running out of time and becomes self-aware. Like, this is all, anyway, this is all theorems. This is all, like, there's no... All that we know is that if I were to live for 1,000 years, I would have I'd have a new perspective on reality that I simply wouldn't have now. I mean, you talk to people who have been alive for over a century, the oldest woman in the world and all that, and they just have a new look on life, but it's all roughly still the same. Say that after 5 centuries, after 1,000 years, after 10,000 years. If we had infinite energy, but now we're talking about the breaking of the laws of thermodynamics, and we haven't done that yet. Energy has to come from somewhere. This is like Full Metal Alchemist bullshit. You have to draw energy from somewhere in order to put it somewhere. Matter just doesn't pop into existence out of nothing. That's religious shit. Then again, I might be wrong, and I have no problem being wrong because it would give credence to the idea that you could live forever. It's just... like heaven, for example. Like heaven as Christians see it. It's stagnant. It's just nothing ever changes. I didn't read that last thing you said there. I'll check now. Where's it? Yeah, but an open system hasn't been discovered yet, has it? This is all theorems. Just theorems and beliefs, which are interesting to hypothesize about, but you need hard facts. You need a perpetual motion machine in order to make this true, but eventually a perpetual motion machine would produce so much energy that the machine itself would break down, or you wouldn't be able to use all the energy. Like a Dyson sphere, for example, does have a finite amount of energy, but the human species would probably never know that energy is end. It would just be siphoned off. Where one matter is constantly transmuted into a group of energy is transferred into another group of energy, or matter into another group of matter without any loss. But there is loss. There's a finite amount of loss that builds up. It's so minuscule it doesn't really notice. As I said, energy from outside, which is a hypothetical part, not potential motion machine. I don't fucking know, man. It's a nice idea, but for example, the sun, although it's a feedback loop, yeah. But the thing is, the feedback loop as it goes on will produce more energy and eventually destroy the loop. That's what the perpetual motion machine is, you know. It wouldn't be able to sustain itself forever. And then, of course, what about outside forces, like the fact that the universe starts breaking down? Energy starts, kinetic force starts to be losing its electrical charge over time, and that includes things in a bubble, like say a Dyson sphere, or the machine that never runs out. I'm big on reincarnations of other human beings. In the sense of our basic components have been made up out of other people, sure. But I don't personally buy into it, other than maybe that there's this vague benevolent force, like say Unitarian Christians believe, that God isn't aware of us. It just is. Deism. But I don't see any proof of it. I'm the sort of person that you need to show hard, concrete evidence. Maybe that means I'm narrow-minded, but...
Low energy. I think you have a big misunderstanding of what I'm saying. I'm not saying we might be able to bring in energy from outside the universe. I'm speaking in hypothetical. If you really want to debate me on this, you can bring me on. I'll win.
Alright, stow the ego, because I'm not debating that. And I don't debate. And I don't say that because, like, I don't debate, I win. I don't debate because I openly admit I don't know jack shit about it. It's just, as you're describing it, I'm not seeing any, and thank you, again, by the way. As always, thank you so much for the donation. And the interest. It's just... If we're talking about hypotheticals, then sure, but... What's the end goal of that? Like, maybe I'm not, maybe it is. Maybe I concede that I actually don't fully grasp the angle that you're going for. But it doesn't change the fact that, you know, we're all gonna fucking die. You give me a practical way of talking about what you're talking about into something I can use. Oh, absolutely. Fusion, like cold fusion, real cold fusion. Fair enough, fair enough. Well, look, then I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Like, I don't know this shit. I just know what I can practically engage in, and hypotheticals are all well and good, but there's no way of actively implementing that in my life. Which is shit, because I kind of want to implement shit like what you're talking about, of infinite energy, because if we had infinite energy, humanity would be able to do anything. We'd be able to run anything, we would be able to create anything given enough time. Of course, that's another factor though, time. I don't think we're gonna also, Rose, I don't honestly believe that we're going to create a new source of energy. We might discover something, like for example, we could discover how to harness dark matter, for example. Well, alright, Rose, how far off is too far off? You know? That's what I want to know. 1,000 years? 500? 20? Like, if someone says they're about to cure death in 20 years, you know, take that with a pole level of salt. Oh. While we talk, I can go and look at some upgrades. I know one thing's for sure. If technology continues to advance the way it does, they're gonna look back at moments like this, conversations like this, and laugh. Because no matter how on the nose you might be, Chaos, or hell, I might be vindicated, we'll get things fundamentally wrong. Oh, you know, interesting you said that, Rose, because I've always imagined, while technology might be on a gradient, human progress in that regard might be on a gradient, it's like it's getting harder and harder to come up with new shit like that. I mean, we're using the same engines we've been using for over a century. Electricity is roughly the same. We've just been using better ways to harness it. Nuclear power is kind of become a bit outdated now. We're all talking about like using green energy right now, and everyone's now also talking about using solar energy directly. Just I keep hearing about these technology helping blind people kind of see things or hear things and make me more optimistic. Yes, but that's implementing technology that already exists. The way I'm getting from Chaos Gamer is that yeah, well, dude, could you simmer down though a little bit? I can tell that you are a little bit triggered, and you need to actually turn that shit off. This isn't something to get triggered over, believe it or not. If you want to get something triggered over, get triggered over somebody, you know, abusing another human being. That's how I always see it. This is just hypothetical. This isn't something to get angry over. This isn't something to lose your shit over. Especially because, like I said, this isn't practical. This is all just one big maybe. I really wish it was practical. It'd be fucking great. Yes, but science doesn't care about your fucking feelings, do it? I wish it did. In which case, people who are science, particularly biology is such a fucking dick. I would have my hair would still be down to my fucking ass if biology gave a shit about me. But and hell, we'd live for as long as we wanted. I've lost my care for humans. Yeah, that is a flaw. That's the start of something that could end up becoming something far worse. You know, You have. That's. I was watching Non Sequitur, and he was talking to an incel guy by the name of Catfish. And Catfish was. He just stopped caring about human feelings. No, but you're being triggered by someone who you believe is misquoting science. But the difference is I'm not saying it as facts. I'm just stating my opinion. And what I'm willing to learn, I'm not willing to learn to immediately agree with you. I'm just there like going, oh, okay, okay. Also, I want to be in the mood to learn, and I'm not in the mood right now to learn. I'm in the mood to say my piece and you said your piece, and nothing comes out of it. Because nothing ever comes out of anything these days. At least not in that regard. And getting back even further, the shit that Evan says, let's be frank here, a lot of it is kayfabe and not true. He does it to play up his character. He doesn't actively... What the fuck happened? See, there's technology working in its glory. My fucking game just crashed. You become apathetic towards humans, and that's not a good thing, man. That is just not a good thing. You have to start giving a shit about people's feelings. Or at least acknowledge that it exists. Actually, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. Because that would imply that I'm saying like feelings matter to some degree. They don't objectively actually matter. You talk bad about Evan. See that happen? Do you? Nah. Well, look, man, I don't mind one way or another. I just honestly don't see the practical implication of what you say. In fact, I'm more in Rose's camp because I can see the practicality of helping blind kids see and shit, but you know, we have to change the very foundations of our understanding of science in order to create shit like unlimited energy that will also be unlimited time as well. But it's subjective. I don't need to give a shit in society. Humans will go. Well, sure. And you also know that a lot of those humans would think the exact same thing about you. I mean, thing is, everyone is annoying to someone. Joe was annoying to me. There was a guy in the pub a few weeks back that I think wanted to throw a punch at me. Let him throw his fucking punch. That's when his feelings become an actual practical concern, you know? But I don't care about things that other people care about, and they don't care about things that I care about, and I'm not going to go over it. What I care about is when those things that I care about actually they're actually important, you know, like which include other people. Believe it or not, other people's opinions kind of are important. Even if they're not important to you, they're important to them. And they can give you context, you know. That's how I always see it. This almost got heated. This is fine. And absolutely it's a good thing, but maybe you do know more about science than I do. I don't. Thing is though, I don't care because I have other passions. Yeah. I have a lot of other passions. Staring into my own eyes for one and wondering what the fuck is going on behind them. That's more. Humans build charities to feel good about themselves. Wow, you're starting to sound a little bit like Good Time. Yeah, a little bit, but in the process, let them feel good. Whatever the end result is, if it helps people, then let it help them, you know? Who cares that in the process they might make themselves feel good? I think actually that's true. There is no charity work that can't actually be just purely altruistic. Good Time Johnny. Yeah. Hell, you could see it almost as the perfect example of a market system. You know, a barter system. Because you're getting something good at the end of it. I've done charity work and I felt good about myself because I helped people. And I knew that in the process I'm not being pure altruistic. So the fuck what? So the fuck what if I'm not? In the process I helped people. In my own minuscule little amount of way. I love me some sci-fi. Jesus, done this for 3 hours. I always play my trucking game so goddamn loud. I think if someone gets very attached to something, they can get very defensive towards something at some arbitrary or fundamental level. And I think, as all things in the universe, context is key. Then destroy the planet. What good people? Support wars, support the destruction of people. Is it even possible to do charity work while being totally apathetic? You can if it's a state-mandated issue to do charity work. Like, for example, those people who have to pick up trash on the side of the road as part of their court sentence. That's a form of charity. But it's also not necessarily the person's choice. But it's helping the environment. It's helping people feel good about the shit they're not seeing on the side of the road. But that is a form of charity. Hell, you can be aggressive in going into a charity. You can, every time I had to tell someone to get out because they were making other people feel uncomfortable when I was in the charity shop, that was me being a little bit aggressive. That was me being not very charitable. But no, seriously, like, we all have our opinions. Some are more valid than others, but only in the context of where those opinions are. To the point where I had no problem conceding that you're probably right, or maybe I just don't care about that whole science thing. And I don't care if I've changed your opinion on people or not. It's not my job to, for starters. This is why I call them low energy rambles, by the way, not low energy plays. Because I knew if I get enough people in a chat, I can end up doing shit like this. And I enjoy it. I enjoy saying my piece. But my piece is not necessarily correct. Neither is yours. Sure, but there are also people who care about those other issues. Oh, absolutely! I was giving them my own anecdotal evidence in that case. There's tons of people who are in charities. Some are religious charities and they want to spread the good Lord. That's a form of, almost a form of the same way like a parasite would do, a parasitical. There are some people who are charities to get laid. Some people want bragging rights. Some people generally want to help other people. There's a whole lot of people. It's like going into military or There are people who want to slaughter people, people want to defend their country, people want to get a free education, people want to hide away from bad relationships. There's tons of people who will try to change my view on humans, but all have failed. Not for lack of trying, not for me being closed-minded, I've just never heard anything convincing. Well, that's fair enough. You could almost say that that's a problem you only have to deal with, but you might not see it that way. I don't personally see it one way or another. I just know that that's what you believe. What can I do with that information? Try to change you? Well, it's not my job. I must be really full of my own opinions in order to think that. Or maybe I'm very sure of something. There's actually very few things I'm sure of. Very few things I'm sure of in this world. Except that this tea is freezing cold right now. I don't mind cold tea. Like, I don't know, man. I know these sort of conversations I have all the time in the bars and around the world, and you add this sort of shit to people who really feel passionate about something and drink, ooh, then you can get violent. I've learned a long time ago to just be like, fine, give it to them. I don't fucking care. Well, you sounded pretty sure. You had a knee-jerk reaction right there. That's something that's a pretty deeply held belief. But if it is scientific, then you must admit that it's not necessarily something that you can guarantee is true. I mean, true is subjective. Or is it? You see? I actually don't even know about the concept of truth. I just know what I believe and what I don't believe. I like humans per se, I just don't want to be around them for very long. Yeah, that's true. I like some humans more than others. I get along better with women, oddly enough. It's weird. That's me. That's something going on in my fucking psyche. I've never been drunk or high. Well, you gotta change that sometime, but do it in a good mood. Around people that you feel comfortable with. Not technically if the universe exists. Well, you see, this is all hypotheticals. This is philosophy. You're not really talking science at all then, are you? You're talking philosophy. You're talking stoicism and existentialism. That's what I talk about half the time. I mean, sure, when I see a kid getting hit by their parents, that makes me feel angry. But is it necessarily evil or good? I don't think it is any of those things. I know that I'm me. How do I know that shit? I just have to accept the fact that I don't. But I make a conscious decision to know that I'm me, you know? Pretty much, yeah. Non-existence is the most logical thing in the world. But it's not. If that's the case, then I'm very unlogical, because I'd prefer to have a world that exists. Simply because I can then justify that statement. Yeah, I agree with you there, Rose. Weed and shrooms. Shrooms are great. Really weak ones. They're pretty cool. In totally places where they're legal, though. Nowhere else. Nowhere here where it would be totally illegal for me to say that. But in places that they are legal, yeah. Now you see chaos right there. That is, regardless of your opinions on the universe or not, that's just a dick move. Like, if you see that, you're like, oh god, that kid is crying. I look at him and go like, oh god. But here's the thing. Your dick move and my mild sadness, they aren't at the same time, they're equal. They're absolutely equal. One is not superior to another. That's what a lot of people in religion have to understand. One is not necessarily greater than the other. It just is. But if there's a consensus by society, then we hope that those consensuses are good for everyone. But they won't be good for everyone. Nothing is good for everyone, except maybe breathing. And eating and sleeping, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But even that's subjective. People in Eastern Asia, for example, they don't do well in Milo's hierarchy of needs. They much prefer consensus. Yes, we are. We're being apathetic. And I'm feeling honest that we shouldn't be doing it. And here we are. You're not stepping away from... You're more likely to step away from the scream than I am to go over and tell them not to hit their kid. And then again, who knows why they're hitting that kid? That kid might have been trying to strangle a cat, you know? Context, I keep saying this and it's never not going to be true. Context in most things, if not all things, is key. Why? The whys and the hows, the whos and the wheres and the whats. Like, why is my... Why are all my shirts often showing off my fucking chest hair? It's very unclassy of me, very low energy. Look, I've got to basically pull the plug at some point on this shit, on this stream. But I won't be gone for too long. It's nearly 6 in the morning, for God's sake. I did enjoy talking this though, but it's not gonna go anywhere. You know, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's just, these are our opinions. And this is Low Energy Rambles, where I ramble. That was like a proper ramble back there. I'm still doing it. Right, so I'm going to go and actually have dinner now. Yeah, Jesus, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have dinner and I'm gonna get myself a warm cup of tea. And then after I mill through YouTube for a little bit and check my emails, because I got a good few emails there, I'm gonna go back and play something that's a bit more, or maybe swing. I'm not quite sure. Finally, dude, you were there for Low Energy Reactions. How many times did I react and how many times did I talk? You see, a lot of me just wants to go and just chat. Actually, you know what? I can't think of anything I want to do shooty shoot. Maybe I will. After dinner, I'm gonna go and set up the camera out in the sitting room. This is for a change of scenery. And we can chat about whatever. Whoever, at least for a little bit. Whoever wants to come in, say their piece, talk about whatever. Doesn't need to be a long video, doesn't need to be a short video. Doesn't even need to be the second video of the night. Just something to do. Because it's my ship and I can do what I want. And thank you for being here, Rose. It's always good to see you. It's good that I have regulars now. And Chaos, you are welcome back anytime. Not just because you're a rid of a cash cow. Actually, I'm so fucking grateful, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, I was genuinely terrified that this number would just never go up and I'd have to look at that 0 constantly there mocking me. Even if not, that would be fine, but I mean, it would just be like, hey, let's try something, and then you fail. You know, you have to accept that. But no, you've been such a great help, man. Jesus fucking Christ, you're gonna see this money in action on the 17th. This isn't just gonna go towards me stuffing my face and shit. I'm gonna be able to get into places. I'll be able to hop into cabs and go places. I'll be able to do stuff. And when in Scotland, I should still have some change of this. So I really appreciate what you're doing, man. I really do. Milk your teats on that long boy. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm actually up for chatting more, but I've got to end the stream. So it's been fun. I'll be back in a little bit just to have a chat. So until then, to anyone who's gotten this far in, sorry if you were just expecting nothing but slow-paced trucking. I'm allowed to do my own shit. It's my own channel. I can do I can do what I want. And it is called Low Energy Rambles. I did warn people a long time ago. And I've got the taste for rambling now. So anyone who wants to still ramble, we can keep this up in a little bit. But I'm going to take a break now. So if you liked what you saw, give it a thumbs up. If not, a thumbs down. That's what it's there for. I imagine I actually will get a thumbs down on this video if someone goes through to this. I know the song. But yeah, if you liked what you saw, remember to give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Please consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. That notification bell. Comment down below on anything you like. And if you want to pop into the chat, or if you want to see me shoot, I'm going to be shoot the shit. And then shoot up shit later. I'm going to be gaming more today. And then I'm going to do Wasted Wednesdays afterwards. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm out here. See you, man. See you, everyone.